Hello, and welcome to the Daily Soap Opera Chronicles. This will be about the Friday, August 26th episodes of both Days of Our Lives and Bold and Beautiful. I have to review them together because if I did them separately, there would be some very short reviews because, as if you heard my podcast from yesterday, not a big fan of the shows right at this moment. So, with Days of Our Lives, this whole episode was basically about Tate's kidnapping and how Victor is being booked for it. Sonny thinks he's innocent, and Sonny and Brady argue about that fact. Brady seems to be convinced that Victor did do this for some reason. Deimos asks Nicole if she believes him that he did not set Victor up. Nicole says she does believe him. Nicole and Deimos do a lot of making out, and then we have Philip and Kate having lunch together, I guess. She doesn't really feel like talking, but he wants to talk about it and her messing with Deimos. He claims not enjoying her life falling apart, but I think she thinks that he's loving that fact. Kate says that he's one to talk since he's the one having sex with Chloe. She thinks that Chloe's going to make his life hell. Maggie is somber hearing news report about Victor's arrest. There's also a nice touch from that news report that we hear about the Cubs, but we don't get to hear what they're saying. I'm sure they're saying the Cubs are going to win the World Series, baby! Chloe comes where Philip and Kate are eating, and Kate and Chloe have a little pissiness affair. After that, Philip and Chloe talk alone. Philip says that he wants to help her, and he advises her to keep her baby, and that he's the only one that Deimos might believe that would be the father of her baby, possibly. And Philip wants Chloe on his new record label. Kate, meanwhile, sees Nicole and Deimos together in the square. She does not look pleased to see them together. They all talk, and she is pretty much glaring at them and not happy about this, even though I think she tries to play it off. But after they leave, she rips up a flower. Brady finds Teresa crying over Tate. They talk about Victor being in jail for the kidnapping. He says that the whole family thinks Victor is innocent, but he doesn't, and he feels like everybody's going to judge him for not backing the family. She wonders if he really thinks that Victor might not be guilty of this. He feels guilty for thinking Victor is guilty, but he loves her and their son, and they make out. Victor, meanwhile, from his jail cell, is able to get one of the guards to give him his cell phone so he could call Maggie in the hospital. Maggie is happy to hear from him and says that she is recovering from her surgery. Back to Philip and Chloe, with Chloe thanking Philip for what he is doing for her. Deimos and Nicole walk in and see them together. Cut outside to Kate still ripping apart her flower, and that is how the episode ends. The only way to describe this episode would be boring. Days was just not good yesterday and just boring today, so it really is the case for Days to be stupid and bad one episode and just plain boring the next. There's not a lot I could really talk about because just not a fan of the show right now at all. However, I do think it's still just a tad better than Bold and the Beautiful, as I will be getting into next. My thing with B&B, and I touched on it yesterday, is that they write these storylines in circles. They do some really good stuff, of course. Their whole transsexual storyline last year was pretty good. And they still get some stories right, but a lot, so much wrong, because it's just so repetitive and just all around suckage. But I will review Friday's episode. As the circles turn on this show, Katie and Ridge talk about the end of Katie's marriage with Bill, and Ridge is happy that she isn't drinking and that she's feeling pretty good. She also feels vindicated because she was all suspicious about Brooke and Bill starting to have an affair again in the first place. Brooke and Bill are still talking. Bill says this is his and Brooke's house now. Katie is getting a good settlement, so she insists that Katie will be happier now than she has been in a while. He tells Brooke he knows she loves him and that's why she came. They then start to talk about Quinn and all that shit, and Bill realizes that Ridge may be starting to get to her. At least one semi-fresh thing did go on in this episode. That was the scenes with Thomas and Sasha. Sasha wants him to divulge all his family drama so she could lend an ear and he could hopefully try and put it behind him and get over it. She urges him to enjoy the sun and try and just let all the stress go. He's glad that she helped him clear his head. They continue to relax, talking about Hawaii. Sasha then has to go somewhere, and they kiss. That was the only good thing in this episode. I mean, it wasn't good by any means, but at least it was decent. I enjoyed their scenes. We end the episode with Bill telling Brooke that she's basically always been the one and that he doesn't want to talk about the shares, he just wants to talk about them. He offers Brooke a deal. If she gets Katie to sign off the divorce, he will give Brooke the gift of the shares on their wedding day. And the show is nothing but triangles, always triangles, same shit, different day. All I have to say about B&B, once again, landing it in 4th place on the daily soap rankings. That is all for the days and B&B review. I will see you all next week. Please visit boxoftalks.com. I hope whoever listens to this, which will probably be very few, actually likes it and will listen again next week. I will talk to you then.